Welcome back, people. Welcome back. Coming off a successful but fan-hating UFC 306 Noche, aka Riyadh season. So we're gonna go straight in, start off main event. My guy, who, and Ash is lucky he's not on this because I was saying this.
I wanted Ash here so bad.
I wanted Ash here so bad because he was talking crazy a lot, talking about he gets finished within 3 rounds, all of that stuff. But my guy, who I've been telling people is my guy, Merab
Dvalishvili or something.
Dvalishvili, and I always mess up his name, defeats Sean O'Malley by unanimous decision, 5 rounds. Jermaine, talk to me. What was your verdict of the fight?
I think it's weird to me that, like, with Sean knowing this fight's happening, like, even if he took the Cheeto fight, he should have been training wrestling, should have been training get-ups, because it's either Merab or Umar. Like, that's the horizon. So, like, just to see the pretty much no defense, really, he could barely, I mean, at some points he was starting to defend the takedowns, but then it was right back to the ground. And then he couldn't really get up. And it's like, that's what I thought was going to happen. That's what I thought Aljo could have did to him. And I don't, you know, but Tim Welsh screams.
I said this, that Tim Welsh stuff was hilarious, but I'll let you get back to it in a second. But I've said this for the longest time. It still burns me that Aljo basically gave away a fight that was tailor-made for him. However, I will always say this. The guy had the pressure of the fans trying shit him constantly. And even in Merab's victory, some of them are still finding ways to somehow trash Aljo, and it's like, fuck you fans anyway. Secondly, the UFC twisting his arm to make such a quick turnaround and treating him poorly as a champion. And just the pressure of being champion. For me, I feel like Aljo got in his own head and Aljo, no, I won't say Aljo screwed Aljo. Aljo screwed up situations, screwed him up so much that he went against his better judgment of wrestling. And, you know, O'Malley took advantage. And this was, you know, the course correct that Aljo kept on saying, when I leave, Merab will take over. And thank goodness, because what a beat he put on him. But sorry, back to you.
Yeah, no, I'm happy about that. So, but with the fight, though, like, Merab just absolutely dominated. I was curious at first, like, when the first round was going on and he wasn't shooting any takedowns, and I was like, is he really going to try to knock this man out? But then it hit me like, he's Merab. Okay, wait, hold on, sorry. He's Merab, and he doesn't, these are like smart glasses that started playing music. He's Merab, okay? He doesn't need to shoot a takedown for the threat of the takedown to be there and affect your movements. O'Malley was already hesitant when he came in. He knew that takedown was coming. So, like, Merab was, like, 100% when he was saying he wanted to stand and knock him out because he knew O'Malley would be too afraid to come in. O'Malley caught him with a nice 1-2, I believe, in, like, the second round. But after he didn't follow up. Okay? He caught him with that 1-2 and was like, nah, there's too much danger over there.
He was so scared to engage, and shout out to Merab. Don't, like, Sean O'Malley done the right thing. At times, he did catch him coming in, but I think he didn't have enough conviction in the strikes. So it's almost like, because he's on edge, you can't even commit to the strikes like the way you would normally do. And Merab's engine, my goodness, every single time he had a chance, there's so many different, from the knee taps to single legs to double legs, to like bear hug him, go behind him, take his back, take him down, knee his thigh, just constant ground and pound. And to all the fans that are calling it boring, go suck an egg. I'm tired, and this annoys me. I was saying about Dana White post-fight in the interview when he was talking about, you know, we put on this grand show, and I'm sorry the fans had to see that main event. Don't get me wrong, the co-main event, that was lame. That was
pretty boring. Yeah, I was falling asleep.
But the main event, I'm sorry, Dana needs to course correct the culture of mixed, and I'll say mixed in capitals again, martial arts, because all these people that won this striker fest from all their fighters is ridiculous. And
those sports are available.
That's the annoying thing. Those sports are not only available. Kickboxing, K1, Muay Thai, whichever iteration you look at, they are screaming for more fans. So if you guys truly want to see that, go watch that, whether it's ONE FC, whether it's Glory,
Karate Combat.
Karate Combat, go watch those. But stop coming to mixed martial arts and getting upset that people are using grappling, especially when it's dynamic grapplers. It's not like we said, it's not going in there and laying praying and not doing nothing. Merab was working throughout, to which even the commentators were calling out her deed, saying, why are you telling him to work? The guy is literally kneeing O'Malley in his thigh multiple times.
They're saying he was like trying to coach the fighters.
Yeah, you know I think it was Herb Dean. Yeah, it was just like, stop trying to coach the fighters, because if Merab then makes a decision based off what you've just said and then it cost him, that's on the referee. Especially like we said, when he is working. But thankfully, even though the judges tried to screw him as well, the 48-47.
Yeah, the scorecards are crazy.
I was just like, oh, if that's the case, yeah, that means that Leon Edwards had a 48-47 against Bilal as well.
No.
I
mean, yeah.
Listen, and Leon's my guy, and even I can say he got dominated. You just have to accept it. The same way I watched that Sean O'Malley fight, I'm like, what? A few body strikes that may have hurt Merab doesn't take over the fact that, you know, you've been ground and pounded throughout the whole round.
I saw the judges gave him the 5th round, and it's like based off of just like a couple leg kicks, like a couple of body kicks.
Body kicks, yeah. The last minute body kicks. Somehow you give that to Sean, and I'm just like, so what happened?
The rest of
minutes, yeah. And I think there needs to be a big cultural reset in MMA. I'm about to say judging, but that's already, we've been known that. There needs to be an overall overhaul in the cultural MMA like fandom, because a lot of these fans, honestly, I don't think they're fans of MMA. They're fans of the characters.
Yeah,
they don't care about fighting. They're not as educated. I remember, I'm showing my age now. I remember when probably around 2009 times when the title started to turn, MMA was becoming more mainstream. And you had fans cheering when, you know, someone will go from guard to side control. And I remember you would even hear Joe Rogan or shout out good old Mike Goldberg, where they were commenting saying, look at the educated fans, they're understanding the progression of position, like they appreciate certain things. Whereas now you're getting more fans that don't know absolutely nothing. Every other sentence is, this fighter's got aura, and it's just them being homoerotic. And then it's, if you swing that way, you swing that way. No offense.
Yeah,
but then it's like you've got these fighters that don't know about fighting, or, you know, there'll be fighters that's having lengthy careers and they'll start calling them bums, and it's just the most, is in such an incestuous, nasty, insidious place right now.
And I like when I watch fights in like Japan or Asia. That's when they usually are educated to what's happening.
Most respectful, even though it's a different sport. I remember last year there's a guy called Naoya Inoue, Japanese fighter, the monster. He beat Stephen Fulton in a pretty decisive fight and he knocked him out. The fact that this how he lost, the Japanese fans respect Fulton so much that when he came back to America and he announced this fight, a lot of Japanese fans were in his social media comments saying, yo, we're tuning into your fight. Just because as a culture, that's how they are. It's like, if you come to us and you fight in such a way that's honorable, we're going to honor that back. And I don't know, on the West side, it's just like the fans just need a big overhaul, because it's just going in a nasty place and people disrespectful to fighters, and it's but anywho, let's not go into that.
Sometimes I like it though when people are disrespectful to Brian Ortega. I really like it.
So the group chat has this thing. The group chat is very split. Some people despise Brian Ortega, and there's others that we appreciate Ortega for his fighting spirit. Ortega's always an entertaining fighter, but for some people, he just rubs them the wrong way. And we'll get to his fight in a bit, but that's funny. That's funny.
You saw the whole thing with the fans. He was walking out, and they were screaming about Tracy Cortez. I'm
Listen,
like,
man,
whoa.
he should have guillotined that fan. That was crazy. Tracy
Oh.
Cortez got a front seat to hate watch as well. But kudos to her. But Merab, one thing about Merab that I understand, but I didn't like at the same time when they asked about Umar Nurmagomedov.
Yeah.
Do you know what's funny? Because a lot of people are just like, oh, he's scared already. But I also see the other side of it where it's just like, I've waited my whole life. You know, social media has chronicled Merab's journey to this. He was a construction worker, and you know, he was a training partner of Aljo. He allowed out when Merab could have got a title shot. He supported Aljo wholeheartedly and was his best mate, and was just like, I'm not gonna fight Aljo. It's his time, so let it be his time, which I respect. And then when it was Merab's time, he stepped up, and he's celebrating this all. And he's, even though he was yapping a lot, listen, that's his moment. So when they brought up Umar, I understand why Merab was kind of fell away, because it's just like, this is my moment.
Yeah,
you're
like,
bringing up Umar.
Yeah, he was like, ooh.
He was just like, I'll talk to Dana. I want to be your best friend. But I get it though.
Yeah,
this is my moment. Do not bring up another fighter. If it's different, if it's like a title defense or, you know, yeah. Oh, for me, only if it's a title defense that you should be talking about the next opponent.
Yeah, he just achieved his lifelong dream.
Like, let him bask in it. Let him enjoy it. But I also understand his frustration with Umar, because if you're Merab and you know the long road you've had to take, and then Umar, by the looks of it, he got a very clear road, which wasn't also his fault, because there was a lot of fighters rejecting, wanting to face him. That's what happens. But who do you think should be next? I believe Merab wants to give it to Figgy. People want Umar. What do you think happens?
If Sean O'Malley can get a quick money fight against Cheeto, then I feel like we should let Merab get his pay-per-view points against Figgy. I'm not saying that he necessarily wins that fight, but I would favor him in that fight. I definitely
favor Merab or Figgy.
I favor Merab over Figgy.
Do you know the funny thing is? I know Merab's not looking at it from a place of he thinks Figgy's easy, but I'm also thinking that is a dangerous fight.
Yeah, I mean, he's got the knockout power. And
he's got the knockout power. His grappling seems to be restored now that he's, you know, not cutting so much weight.
Oh, yeah.
Figgy is a very dangerous fighter for your first title defense. So either way, Merab's got a big, you know, task ahead of him. But whether it be Figgy or Umar, it's going to be very interesting. And with Dana not being too happy with, he's not happy with anyone at this point. Why is he promoting the UFC? I think he should honestly take a sabbatical, because he just seems miserable promoting the sport.
He hates the wrestlers except for the Nurmagomedovs and all that whole crew. He wants those wrestlers to win, but he hates wrestling heavy fights. So if I'm Dana, I definitely don't book wrestler versus wrestler and Merab versus Umar. I would throw Figueiredo in there. The guy who knocks people out, looked like a world beater until Brandon Moreno showed up. Like, you throw that guy in there.
Do you know what's interesting as well, though? Because Dana doesn't seem to be the biggest fan of Islam, but Islam has been one of the most best and dynamic fighters in the UFC for a while. And he beat my guy, Charlie Olives, which absolutely hurt my heart.
Yeah, that was my favorite fighter at the time.
And it's like, even like the whole John Jones thing, which I know what the end game is. The end game is he's promoting John Jones versus Stipe. That's why he's been going on this rant about pound for pound. But I believe he even said pound for pound is, and I hope I'm wrong, but I recall him saying it's John Jones, then it's Poatan, then it's Islam. And I'm just like, you are smoking crack, or you've had a fresh bump of cocaine, because how the John Jones thing, I'm going to ignore it and whatever. Putting Poatan ahead of Islam, I even said Makhachev, is crazy. in the
And he's
most
talking about
talent-filled
brings
division.
in pounds for pounds into his pocket. Like he's not talking about who's the best right now. It's just who's bringing in the most money. John
Yeah,
Jones,
you're
Alex
right.
Pereira. Like, you know what I'm saying? That doesn't list the best fighter right now.
Do you know, now that you said that, that makes all the sense in the world, because that is probably the big three money makers right now. It goes John Jones, Pereira,
And
then
Makhachev has
Islam.
the Abu Dhabi market and all
Yep.
that.
Not even this Middle Eastern market, just the Muslim market is there, and that hemisphere of the world. But to not digress too much, Sean O'Malley, where do you think he goes from here? Because I've always said I don't think he's the big pay-per-view star that they try to force down our throats. I always thought that he's a very much a Gen Z star where he's going to have a lot of the vanity metrics of social media numbers, but meaningful numbers when it comes to pay-per-view buys or people that are actually interested other than just liking social media posts. Is he still going to be the guy? What is your verdict on the Sean O'Malley experiment, and where does he go from here?
Man, I don't know if it's over because like he can definitely win some fights against some strikers, but do I see him
Yeah.
beating Merab? No. Do I see him beating Umar? No. And if I see him, I was thinking like another good fight for him or the next good fight could probably possibly be Corey Sandhagen, but Sandhagen sees the blueprint on how to beat O'Malley. Take him down, he struggles getting up. Like so, why we've seen Corey implement a grapple heavy like attack. You know
But
what I'm saying?
do you think he's a dynamic enough wrestler? Because we've seen it. Sandhagen's one of those weird fighters where it's like his frame isn't made. From what I've seen of him, his frame doesn't seem made to be grapple heavy. It's not that he can't grapple at all, but certain people's wrestling style, I expect that whole double leg, single leg chain wrestling like a Merab or a Umar, whereas Sandhagen is more MMA style takedowns rather than wrestling takedowns.
Yeah.
So will he be able to implement that against Sean O'Malley? And will Sean be able to use his leverage as long levers to catch him coming in? But part of me also feels like, I don't know why, I feel like the way those two guys strike is going to be a very boring fight because both of them are going to be in on the outside trying to counter.
Yeah, counter strikers. Yep. Yeah, I don't think
So
it's. You're gonna need that grappling in there to really switch it up and make it different. Tire somebody out or like I don't know, man. Like I thought that would be a good fight, but at the same time, I don't see Sean being a huge star. I don't see him being champion again, like at any weight class. I don't see him moving up and beating Ilya Taporia. I don't see him
oh
beating
hell no.
Volkanovski. I don't see him beating
If he moves
Diego
up,
Lopez.
please no. Diego Lopez is a massive 145.
Yeah, dude, he's huge.
And the irony is, we'll go to speak on that match in a bit, but Brian Ortega was saying he might go up to 155. And I'm like, you got dwarfed by Diego Lopez in the lower weight class. So even if if Sean O'Malley was to ever dare to go up, they need to make him versus Aljo too. And for Aljo to go in there without having a quick turnaround, without having the rough weight cut, with having more time, for me, that's the only fight to make if he was to ever move up. But
I don't see him fighting Aljo though because Aljo's gonna beat Mobstar and then he's gonna take the belt. So at that point,
let's hope so. But obviously, with the performance Diego Lopez put in, he might be jump the queue and get that fight first. But we'll see. But before we get to that fight, Valentina Shevchenko defeats Alexa Grasso in this was a fight. If you want to talk about lay and pray, this was a safety first fight, to which I will also say I do not blame Shevchenko. Two fights, the first fight was exciting and then she got caught. It happens. The second fight, she tried to be exciting and, she believes she got screwed over and was given a draw. She said this fight, F all your excitement. I want my belt back. Safety first. I'm just going to go in there and lay on someone who's got no get up. Well, what is your verdict on the fight?
I thought that fight looked how I thought the first fight would have gone.
Uh-huh.
And it's crazy that it made it this far and then this third fight looks this way. Like
Yeah.
she was having success in the wrestling in the first two fights. Valentina was having success in the wrestling. So this could have happened a lot sooner. She was choosing to stay standing with Alexa in the
Mhm.
first fight, and Alexa was just catching her with the boxing, and
Yeah.
just yeah, it was just she was making poor decisions in the first fight, and that lost her. Second fight, she was getting caught. In this fight, she was back in form, the dominant, the greatest woman of all time, Valentina Shevchenko. But you know, she puts you in that crucifix and just lays on you.
Oh,
So
what? She's number one for you?
yeah, I've always had her number one. I think she's more talented
Oh,
than like Amanda
Amanda.
Nunes. Amanda Nunes just got power. She's just
No,
big.
let's not. Actually, we're here. We're here.
We saw her staying with Jermaine Durandamy, and she turned into a wrestler. Okay.
I'm, I'm thinking, but no. What I'll say about that Jermaine the random fight. One, I'm glad that fight happened because I think people weren't putting enough respect on Jermaine the Randomine after she had that weird fight with Holly Holm. She is an excellent fighter. But two, I also think that showed another fold of Amanda Nunes to show that I'm more than a strong puncher. So I still have Amanda Nunes number one. What I do want at this point, I know there's another fighter waiting for a title shot against Shevchenko on 25. Please, Miss Shevchenko, if you are watching, because I know you tune into Calfkicksports,
Champ.
yes, immediately,
Yes.
as soon as, because I can see Juliana Pena winning that belt off of Raquel Pennington.
Oh no.
Oh, you don't think so?
Well, no, but I want Kayla Harrison to get in there. I
Do you
want
know
Zhang Wei Li to,
what?
to fight Valentina.
Oh,
That's what I
oh, so
want.
that's who you was talking about.
Yeah, Zhang Wei Li.
Okay. Do you know what? That is actually excellent. That I've never thought about that.
Yeah, I think that's like there's no reason we can't have that fight right now.
Especially Shevchenko is in the twilight of her career. I think we can admit that.
Mhm.
So if Shevchenko doesn't go up, I think that Zhang Wei Li, I'll be honest, off the top of my head, I can't think of people in her division that she needs to fight right now.
No.
If Zhang Wei Li, takes one more fight and then Shevchenko gets this, the next mandatory out of the way, that is a fight to make. I was thinking, I forgot about Kayla Harrison because my main thing was Juliana Pena, you need to save your division from Raquel Pennington. I'm happy for Pennington.
I forget that Pennington is even champion until they keep showing her on every card, and I'm like, oh yeah.
I am so happy for Pennington only because she's been in the game for so long, and
Mhm.
sometimes you're just like, I'm glad to see longevity get rewarded. However, ain't no one trying to see her fight like that, especially as a champion. So Juliana Pena, go in there and do what you need to do. But if Shevchenko still wants to become 135 champ when, she couldn't when Amanda Nunes was there, this is the best time, especially, I don't know how, if the UFC want Kayla Harrison to take one more fight.
Yeah, she's fighting like Kelvin Vieira.
Oh, that's a very good fight.
Mhm.
Especially because Vieira is just as big and as horrible as the weight cut is for Kayla Harrison, if that weight cut takes too much of a toll, she could lose to Vieira. I still can't believe that Kayla Harrison even came to the UFC to find at 135 because
It just came out of nowhere.
she is jacked at her natural weight class, let alone 135, and at plus 35 age as well. Must be rough, but we digress. Alexa Grasso, other than learning how to do get-ups, where do we go from here? Because this isn't like the Brandon Moreno Figgy quadrilogy where it was just like fans were clamoring for more. After this third fight, Alexa Grasso has a lot to do to restore the glory that she had of when she first won the belt.
Yeah, she looks pretty terrible in that fight. Like, I felt like she had the glow coming into this, like, and then she just, as Diego said, she froze up in there, man. She
Yeah.
was like no defense for the takedowns. Like, didn't even like try. Like, no sprawls. Just kind of like anytime Valentina touched her, she just went down. I was like, dude, like, who is this? This is not the Alexa that I.
Do you know what it is? I think with Alexa Grasso, it was like after the second fight, it was kind of like, do you not realize what Shevchenko is going to try and do? And you're still trying to work off your back. Like this is 2000, the mid 2000s, when, mid 2000s MMA, a lot of people will still get submissions off of their back. Whereas now it's just like everyone is so well versed. Already, there's only like the best of the best, I guess, still get submissions off their back, a la Oliveira. But other than Oliveira at the top level, you better learn to get up. You better learn to get up, or it's curves for you. And every single submission attempt, it seemed more closer at the time, but I'm sure if we look back, Shevchenko is probably just like, I had it covered. Every single triangle you tried, every single weak guillotine you tried, I had it covered. And I was just looking at Grasso like,
there was that one guillotine that Grasso had.
Yeah.
She got the mount and it was all right, but I felt like she should have just let that go when she got the mount and did some ground and pound. Like, yeah, but
do you know what's funny? I'm sure Shevchenko was probably going into meltdown mode again, because she's probably thinking, I've dominated this fight and I've given her the submission again.
Yeah.
Because same thing happened, first fight where dominating, you got sloppy, and then Grasso took advantage. Second fight, same thing. She took advantage of the sloppy technique. Third fight, Shevchenko is on job, and there is that one submission where she's probably thinking, there is no way I've been caught again. But, kudos to Shevchenko. That Zhang Weili fight, you've got me excited for that one now.
That's the one I want to see.
I need Zhang Weili to please do not mess this up.
I don't know who's in her division. Like, is that Tatiana like Suarez or something like that?
Oh, no, Tatiana Suarez.
Is she like? I think she probably. Yeah, I was like,
Tatiana Suarez is strawweight, so 125.
Okay.
However, as talented as
she's number one for Zhang.
Is she number one in the rankings?
Yep, somehow.
Yeah, I'm about to say, I was thinking to myself, Tatiana Ali's has had a while to like build up her rep, because obviously she went through a lot of injuries and such, but I guess they fast track. Okay, so maybe you may not get that Zhang Weili fight then.
I think you should. I mean,
do you feel like Zhang Weili will get past Tatiana Suarez?
Yeah, I do. I don't think Tatiana Suarez can strike at all. She looks terrible when she stands. And I think defensively, Zhang Weili will be capable enough to maybe sprawl, shut down some of the wrestling, or even like reverse position on the ground. I don't feel like she's gonna just like be lost if she does get taken down. I think, and then once it's standing, it's over for Suarez. I think she's getting knocked out.
Do you know what the funny thing is? Suarez's last fight was 2023. How is she still number one?
That's what I don't understand it. Like, I was looking at it. I think I did a video about it, and I was like, I think Vina Jandrodova should probably be the number one contender.
Yeah, I was like, that division cannot be that shallow. Where
there's nobody in that division.
Damn it! So basically, all three women divisions are just literally, we just want the champions to fight each other because the champions are so far ahead of the competition.
That's why I needed Alexa to win that fight, because the division is more interesting at that point. Valentina, like, reigning supreme again, it's like we're back at square one.
I don't mind Valentina reigning supreme if Valentina just goes up to bantamweight. That was always my issue with Valentina at 125. It's like, listen, there's only so many times you're gonna be up the division. Go up, and I know obviously she feels away because when she went up last time, Amanda Nunes got the best of her. For me, that's the only way she's gonna challenge herself, because she might lose it again, not through someone being better than her, but through boredom.
Yeah.
Because it's hard to stay champion for so long because you get complacent. So for me, I feel like Valentina, go give, Manon Fiora her title fight.
I think she dominates Manon.
Of course, she will.
Yeah. So,
but if Kayla Harrison, I think everything that's what everything depends on, is if how the Kayla Harrison Ketlin Vieira fight goes. But that is what Zhang Weili fight is still there. So I think if Zhang Weili can get past Tatiana Suarez, I don't know when that fight will be booked for, but if that can happen, I say fast track them. And you've really got me thinking about that fight. I appreciate that.
That's the fight to happen, man.
Yeah, but we'll go to one more card before we just talk about the production.
Oh, and I'll say we could do, like, for Grasso's next fight, probably Macy Barber would probably be next.
If you knew how much I despise Macy Barber's fight.
Oh yeah.
I do not understand the hype that Macy Barber gets.
She got better since she moved with Uriah Faber and all them. She got a lot better.
Do you know what? Maybe I need to see her last fight again, because
when she was training here in Milwaukee, she was doing this weird shadow boxing thing. Yeah, I was glad she got out of here.
She would just be stuck. Hey. And I'm just like,
no, she's better now. She's better than
me as well. All right, fair enough. I'm being harsh. I need to. I maybe need to see Macy Barber again. But
yeah, go watch the Macy Barber Amanda Hebas fight.
Okay, I will do that. If you're saying my guy Uriah has got her fighting properly, then I'll do that, because I know she faced. She got a unanimous decision against. It's not Chukatian no more.
Oh yeah, I think it's
Manara.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, Manara. It is Manara. Yep.
Seminara, yeah. So
I thought she kind of lost that fight though. Honestly.
See what I mean? See?
That's why I said watch the Ribas fighter.
So you just skip that one. So maybe Grasso would be a good fight, especially the fact that with Grasso, with Barber not having the grades of wrestling, that actually might be a good fight. Just to see, can you still hang at the top? Then Barber's a good fight. And then if Barber's is going to see this is going to be a good litmus test for Barber to see, can you elevate to the next level?
Yeah, so she would have potentially beaten a former champion.
That is a brilliant fight to me, so definitely. But speaking of fights to make, there was starting to become a bit of a logjam in the men's featherweight division. My goodness, Diego Lopez said, "Hold my drink. I'm the number one contender."
Feel bad though, because then I saw Volk and I was like, I forgot about Volk. Volk talked about it. I was like, dude, he's just off on the side.
Let me tell you something about Volk, and I love it. I love Volk. I do, man. Top 3 featherweights of all time. Volk, one needs to take, and I hope he's been compensated enough that he can take enough time off MMA just to, off of 2 horrible knockout losses, take your time, Volk. 2, sometimes it is just good to take an easier fight coming back. I know the competitive energy in Volk wanting to go against another number one contender, but no, he even wants straight into a title fight.
He wants an interim fight with Lopez.
I'm scared we face this Lopez.
Really? I don't know, man.
If there's any guy that can beat him, it would be Volk.
Yeah, I'm worried about Lopez. Like, I'm worried for Lopez in that fight.
The only thing is Volk's chin. After getting, it's hard because when you get clocked by a very good striker in Ilya, is one thing. Then obviously you had a knockout loss to Islam where it was like a bad head kick. So now it's just like, is that weird thing of, is he chinny or did he just get clocked by two of the best fighters in the world?
I think he did get clocked by two of the best fighters in the world.
If that's the case, then make the Lopez fight.
But I mean, that chin could still be being wilted down by the two of the best fighters in the world. You know, both of those things can be true. We just have to see what happens when those hooks touch him. Those Lopez hooks touch him.
Oh yeah, because Lopez against Brian Ortega, TC. One thing I'll say about TC, he may not be the greatest, but that guy has got dog in him. And I've never seen, despite, his haters are out there, including yourself and other people in the Calfkicksports team. But one thing you got to give Ortega, that guy will fight in battered, bruised, eye hanging off, scar tissue absolutely open, other eye swollen, leg looking like he's got an ankle monitor inbuilt.
Yeah.
But Ortega will keep on fighting on like no one's business. But now it's like, that was the end of the road for him facing top contenders at featherweight.
And then he's gonna go to lightweight and fight who? Like who? There's no easy fights for Ortega.
It's not about, here's my thing, and I wish the UFC did this more. With certain fighters in Ortega's position, just give him fun fights. Stop trying to, not everyone needs to face the best of the best. And for me, I hate how they've mistreated RDA. RDA is someone who exactly reminded me of being in a similar position to Ortega, where he used to be the top level. Well, there's a difference because RDA was actually champion, but you used to be champion, and then you're in this weird space where you're too big for 155, where it hurts your body to cut to it, but you're too small for 170. My thing is, put RDA in exciting fights. There's no reason why they keep on putting RDA against some of the best fighters. Like, I think he's facing Jeff Neal next. Him. Why are you putting him? And the worst thing is, I remember RDA's
frozen right now. No, I can't hear you.
Oh, we're back. Sorry for the technical difficulty. I remember when RDA lost to Fisayev, and then that's when he officially said, I'm done chasing the title. There's no point no more. I'm not that guy. For me, they should have given him the Jim Miller route, where it's just like, let him do the mercenary. Let him just go in there, face unranked guys, and just pay him to have fun fights.
I think it's because Jim Miller looks like an older guy, and RDA doesn't. You know what I'm saying? He still looks like he can hang with the younger people.
And it hurts me. Because I'm looking at RDA thinking, the fact that he already himself resigned, the fact that he's not going to be fighting for the title no more, why do they keep putting him in there with killers? That's one thing I think UFC fails to do sometimes. Like, no, it's okay to have someone who's just there to put on fun fights. You do not need to make him, even I say, F it, make McGregor RDA, because Chandler didn't deserve it anyway, and it's still fuck Chandler.
I don't want to see it. I do not want to see it.
No. The reason why, RDA is not what he used to be, to his own admittance. Conor is also Conor. I don't know if that's the best way to describe it. Conor is Conor. That was the original red panty night. That was the original. It was meant to be RDA against Conor McGregor. Remember, RDA got injured, and then Nate Diaz had to step in.
Well, Conor's not even in the rankings anymore.
See what RDA versus Conor. That is the fight right there. And I hope when that fight is happening, I hope RDA looks to the camera and smiles and says, "Hey, Chandler." But once again, we've digressed. Diego Lopez, yes, great fight. Put the beatings on Mr. Ortega. Do you believe, and I believe Topuria, even though he keeps on calling shots and looking past Max Holloway in a way that I don't appreciate, if Topuria gets through Max Holloway, do we give Diego Lopez the fight before Volk asks for this fight?
Dude, I think Volk, with having years of title defenses, like one of the greatest featherweights of all time, he deserves a rematch. This is unfair to just be skipped over. I think he should have to fight.
A rematch for me is for tight fights. You got KO'd convincingly. No, you didn't only get KO'd, you got beat up in that fight convincingly. It wasn't a thing of like, oh, it was a tight fight and then you just got caught. Or it was a back and forth and then you just got caught. It's not like we were just mentioning about Shevchenko and Grasso, where Shevchenko was doing well and then Grasso took advantage and got submission. Volk versus Ilya was Ilya literally hunting him down for that fight, doing target practice, and then he just got him. And I feel like with Volk as well, as much as he may not like it, I feel like his team needs to advise him, take a more winnable fight first, just to get your momentum going, just to get some rhythm. Sometimes save the fighter from themselves, because you want that from a fighter. You want the tenacity, you want the determination. Yeah. Sometimes save it from himself and say, listen, go take a fight that you're supposed to win, just to get that momentum, just to get that feeling again.
That's just to jump back. That's why you don't let Conor fight RDA.
Why not?
Because Conor needs a good fight, a winnable fight. He fights Bobby Green. Winnable. He fights Bobby Green.
You know what? That's actually, I'd love for Bobby Green to get that payday. I'd actually love that. I think because of the streak that RDA's on, I honestly, and for me, RDA does for the amount of killers that this guy, his resume is all killer, no filler. So for me, I'm like, RDA deserves, whether he wins or loses, RDA deserves such a big pay, just a farewell pay. He's near the twilight of his career. I feel like, and like I said, there's that, I think RDA, after what Conor done to get out of the fight with Chandler, he made fun of him. And I said, there's storyline right there.
Yeah.
The RDA Conor fight. And I want them to both laugh at Michael Chandler as well. I think that's the fight to make. RDA versus Conor. But
sorry to digress again.
It's all good, man. The fans are loving it. But featherweight division, I think is in a good, healthy space. We've got Max versus Ilia Topuria in, a month and a half time?
Yeah, I believe so.
Which that's going to be tense, because Max Holloway's my guy. I like Topuria as well. And this is last chance saloon for Max at featherweight, because if this ain't it, then... But Max is in a decent place. He's got the BMF title. He's fought at 155, and, there's fun fights for him. He might be in the, Dustin Poirier space where you may not go for the title, but we still want to see you in exciting fights.
Yeah, he's definitely in the Conor McGregor sweepstakes.
No, he isn't.
You don't think so? He and Max?
Conor will not take that. Listen, Conor's subconscious, not consciously, Conor will take on anyone. Conor's real subconscious of where he is. If you take that Max Holloway fight, Max is absolutely whooping him.
I think after Conor sees Ilya knock out Max Holloway, he will be more receptive to take that fight.
I would love it, because Max is going to avenge his loss. However, that is not a good matchup for Conor. But ego-wise, his ego might say, I want Max for the BMF title. And that's another guy who, do you know what? If Max gets a nice bag, he deserves it as well. But Max is absolutely beating Conor.
Oh, yeah.
There's no doubt about it.
Max would probably, that's why I need Conor to fight some tune-up, like a couple tune-up fights.
RDA. RDA is,
I need unranked opponents. Bring back Paul Felder or something like that. Like, I don't want, that's not what I want.
Bobby Green might actually be the best fighter for him. That actually might be.
Tony Ferguson. Like, these are the fights I want for Conor.
That Tony Ferguson fight should have happened actually, no, I'm happy that he went that, because I'm going to say when Conor faced Dustin Poirier is when he should have faced Tony Ferguson. But for me, I'm happy Poirier got a payday, so I'll never take that back. But yeah, that ship is sold. Tony Ferguson just doesn't need to be in the... Ferguson needs to find peace. Yeah, And the UFC need to release him as well. I don't know why they keep on. I don't know what cruel prank that Dana's playing with Tony Ferguson.
I think
on
it's like a
letting him
Chuck
fight.
Liddell thing where like they used to pay Chuck Liddell not to fight. You know what I'm saying? I
No,
think they're
but
trying to.
Chuck Liddell was different because Chuck Liddell was Dana's boy. So I understand why they were just like, yo, Chuck, we'll pay you. I don't think, no, I won't say the UFC. I don't think Dana likes Tony Ferguson. So he takes joy in seeing Tony absolutely get battered.
Yeah, that's sad. It's sad to watch these days. I've never been a Tony Ferguson guy.
Neither have I, but I'm glad we agreed on that. But
Oh yeah,
it's sad seeing this. I've always said there's some people I may not like or hate, but I always have respect for the fighters, and it's sad seeing how bad he's going out. But speaking of Dana, UFC Noches, he promised a fantastic event at the Sphere, and my goodness, from the atmosphere, and we was at home watching it, from the atmosphere to the graphics to the details, such as the ring card girls changing their costumes. What a production.
I'm really upset that I didn't go, man. Like, especially when the prices dropped, it was like $750 for like a low level ticket. I was like, man, I should take off work and fly out there. And then I was like, man, it's probably not going to be worth it. And I'm sitting at home like, wow, this is really amazing. No one's going to experience this again. Like,
Yeah.
just phenomenal visuals. Like for the main card changing for every fight, it was just amazing. Man. Like,
and I also hope they don't do a U-turn on it, because I know Dana said this is one and done. Even if it's like one every 5 years, I wouldn't mind. I don't want this to become a yearly thing, because MMA has become so monotonous. The card qualities have not been the greatest, and I would hate for them to ruin such an epic time and moment in history by then commodifying it and then making it a yearly thing just because.
Well, he said they can't because they're contracted with MGM. He said MGM allowed them to do it this one time.
Brilliant. Thank you, Canelo. The real winner of Cinco de Mayo. Wait. No. Cinco de Mayo is different from Mexican independence.
Yeah.
Thank you for King Canelo for being once again the king of Mexican independence. But yeah, this one-off event, it deserved the fight card similar to what they get in Abu Dhabi with, the Max Holloway and Ilia Topuria card. But, I still wasn't too upset. But what production the UFC put on, and all I could hope is that they put as much effort into future pay-per-views in terms of just being bothered. Dana's given this attitude of not being bothered for a long time, and this is the first time in a long time that was this event at UFC 300 is the first time in a long time that he seems bothered about MMA and not his other side ventures.
I think what he's really upset about is that, like, even if he wanted to do this event next year, who are the Mexican champions? You just lost Grasso. I think that's what he's really upset about. He can't do this next year. Like, there's no Mexican champions.
No. Listen, man, I pray that Brandon Moreno makes a good comeback, because that was, I know for a fact, and I cried inside as a Moreno fan and supporter. I know Dana cried when Pantoja beat him, because to borrow a wrestling term, Moreno was over. As in, he was so loved. That Figgy quadrilogy really made him a star. Even in defeat in the trilogy fight, Moreno was a star. Then when he went and faced Kai Kara France, it's like the support that Moreno was getting, and even in the Pantoja fight, the support that Moreno was getting was just like, you can't. But this is genuine love for Moreno. And I know Dana probably had money in his eyes thinking, they've tried so many years for a Mexican star, from, when it was Cain Velasquez to they thought Yair Rodriguez was going to be the guy. And in comes Moreno, once released guy that, he just captured the audience heart. And then he loses to Pantoja, and you're just like, they're probably there like, fuck!
Yeah, because Pantoja doesn't like really talk to the media or anything. He's got like no personality.
I thought
Yeah,
that I like Pantoja. He seemed like a decent guy, but Moreno was really like
very marketable.
very marketable and naturally as well. I think he's just got a naturally bubbly personality that people
Hmm.
love. So UFC have to go back to the drawing board in terms of Mexican champions. And if Moreno somehow, is able to get back to being his best and faces Pantoja in the trilogy and is able to beat him, best of luck to him, because I know Dana right now is looking at his champions, and outside of heavyweight, he doesn't seem to be too happy. Outside of maybe heavyweight and lightweight, Dana doesn't seem to be happy because who they got? They got light heavyweight.
Oh, yeah, Alex Pereira.
Pereira, he loves that. Middleweight and DDP, I think he's on the fence.
He's talking about going to South Africa. He's
They
like, yeah,
need to.
they should have went to Africa in general. They should have gone.
Yeah, like, I don't understand what they're waiting. Pull the trigger on South Africa. I don't know what they're waiting for. That Strickland first DDP2 South Africa is right there. I don't know what they're waiting for. That's right there. And hopefully Whitaker wins and then we can get Whitaker first DDP.
Oh, you're going for Whitaker, eh?
Whitaker is my guy, and I really hope he can get one more title reign in him before his days are done, because if anybody deserves it, it's Whitaker.
I like Bobby Knuckles, but I'm also just a huge Boris guy. I want to see that happen,
You must not. If you've ever watched, if to the people out there that's watched prior episodes and realize my disdain for Hamza, I do not want to hear nothing. No, hear me out. When it comes to Hamza, I don't want to hear nothing from him. Just fight.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear no more. Have you not seen there's an image of like all the times that Hamzat's called out prior champions, what after they win a belt, it'd be like, I think welterweight, middleweight, and like heavyweight. Every single person that's won the belt during that time, who always says "see you soon," and it's like, shut the F up and fight respectfully. Yeah. Like, it's enough. Fight and then speak. Stop speaking for speaking's sake, because you was meant to be 2021 is when you was meant to be the guy. There's been so many champions at welter, middle, and light heavy, and you are still talking despite not fighting. It is enough. And I say this respectfully because I want him in good health, but it just got too much, and he just became a caricature of yourselves. So, but we digress. So we got DDP at middleweight, which I hope they go to South Africa already, because they should have been already done that. But light welterweight, I know Dana's burning. Lightweight, you have Islam, which is a very good representative of the division. He's gonna face Sayukian soon. Featherweight, he should be happy. Ilya or Max Holloway.
And as far as Islam, his coach just did an interview with Submission Radio. He said there's no surgery, so he might be back sooner than we think.
I still believe it's gonna be sometime next year, but Sayukin, if I'm Sayukin, I don't wait until that fight. There's no point taking another fight. Just train, and hopefully he's got the funding and resources to carry him over. Then we go down to bantamweight. I like Merab as a champ. F what anybody else says. Dana might not be a fan, but suck it up. And you literally made us fall in love with mixed martial arts, and you're upset that
that we like it.
Yeah. I don't know. And then flyweight, men's flyweight, you got Pantoja, which he's a good second fiddle fight. He's a good co-main. That's why I feel like the UFC started to get lazy with as well. They don't build champions no more. Not everyone needs to be the main event. What happens to this building champs? Let someone be a co-main before you make them a main if they're struggling to be the main event. And then we go to the women's side of things. We've got Raquel Pennington, who, please, Juliana Pena, save us from her ASAP. Respectfully, shout out Pennington. Flyweight, you got Shevchenko back on the crown, back on the throne, shall I say. And then you got strawweight, which is Zhang Weili, which that fight, now that you've spoken to me about that, that is the fight to make.
Yes.
If both of them get through their next opponents.
2025, I want to see that fight.
2025, we need to put that in the atmosphere. Fans start running up. So before we close out, Jermaine, the floor is yours. Any other closing remarks regarding UFC Noche?
The Mexicans did not stand on business at UFC Noche. Most of them got beat up. It was crazy, unfortunate. I think it was the same way last year, man. Like Daniel Zellhuber, like, oh man, bless his heart. That was a good fight though.
That was a brilliant fight.
Shout out to Norma Dumont, dude. Norma looked like a world beater in there. I think
I hope they got well compensated for that fight because they deserve it.
Yeah, but you know, it was a great card. I think it's insane to like think that the next card they're gonna be in the Apex. You're going back to the Apex after what we just watched. This is crazy.
Stop being cheap, and this is what makes me laugh because it's like UFC will complain about how the current market is not being good for MMA and it's just not building up and stuff. But you keep on putting stuff in the Apex. You should be going do what they used to do. Go into smaller towns. I remember back in the day, UFC fight nights were way bigger, way more anticipated than what they are now. Now people don't even care about it because you keep on doing stuff like putting in the Apex. Go to smaller towns.
It was affordable to go to UFC if they do that.
Oh yeah, that's true. I don't know if they're overcharging smaller towns as well, because I remember the last UFC London fight night card was the same price as when Leon was defending his belt, and I was just like, how are you charging us the same for no title fights?
Last time UFC came to Milwaukee, I paid $300 for a floor seat.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so
nice. Who was in the main event then?
It was Ally Quinta versus Kevin Lee. The second fight.
Nice. That makes me sad. Kevin Lee's my guy. But
yeah, I like Kevin Lee. I like them both, man. It was unfortunate.
Yeah. But yeah, I think the UFC needs to go back to going to smaller towns, making it more affordable. I don't know whether they're in a space where they're like, they're too far gone to drop the prices, but it's a shame. But the Apex stuff is ridiculous now. Moicano first, Benoit Saint Denis. Very good matchup. And I'm rooting for Moicano because I like him, but that is a very tough matchup.
And BSD is going to dominate.
If he loses, I think he should move up to welterweight because I think he's getting...
Yeah, he's pretty big guy.
Very big for lightweight, but we'll leave that fight night for another day. But UFC Noches, Riyadh season, which I don't understand how they had Mexican Independence Day is sponsored by Saudi Arabia, but that's a whole other thing. But it's been one for the books. War Merab, Shav Shevchenko, and Diego Lopez might be the next killer at 145. Jermaine, it's been a pleasure. To the Calfkicksports audience, over and out. Like, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff. Peace.
Guys, peace.